Hello there, it is me, Tarman, and welcome back. Today we're going to be doing chipping and weathering, so let's hop into that. So we're going to start off with the chipping, and all you'll need is a sponge, and I'm pretty sure you've probably seen this everywhere. Everyone normally does use a sponge. So we're going to start with a sponge, and you're going to dip it in the paint. The paint we're going to be using is this, because it's lighter than that, and then I think it'll pop out pretty nicely. So it's going to be kind of like dry brushing. You dip that in the paint, and then you take a rag and you just press it on the rag until you barely see any paint on it, because you don't want that much paint. So let's start. And if you're not that confident in doing it, start on the bottom, just so you can get the hang of it.
Like that.
Now that that part's done, we're going to continue on with the chipping, but we're going to be doing it like a splattering. So all you'll need is like a toothpick or something long and sharp, and then we're going to use the same color, but I'm going to water it down, and I'm going to splatter it. So let's hop into that.
Like that.
And then there we are. So now we got all the light chipping done. So now we're gonna go in with a black to make it show the metal underneath, and you're going to need a very fine tip brush. And the black I'm just going to use, I'm pretty sure they make like a more steel or metal look, but black is what I'm going with right now. I'm just gonna use this. So yeah, let's hop into that. Here we are, all of the chipping on the tank is done. And what I will do too, go back, don't throw it. Go back to this and get a very fine tip brush and go to some of the scuffs and scratches and add some streaks. This tank's supposed to be abandoned, so that's why it's a little bit more drastic and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And for the road wheels, just use the black with the sponge and hit it on the outer edges, because that's where the most wear and tear would be on the wheels. But now let's hop over to mud. Okay, so the first thing to move on to the dirt. We're gonna add dust all over the tank. You know what we're gonna use? We're gonna use this we've been using for chipping and all that, because it's a pretty nice dust color. So what I'm going to do is water it down, and I'm gonna add water to the surface, and then I'm gonna wipe it and then wipe it off. So I'll show you. So you're gonna pick your area, and most of the mud will be focused on the back because there are no fenders. sure it's nicely covered. And you don't need a crazy amount on your brush. And then you're going to go back with a clean brush and take it off, making streaks as you go. So now it has a light film of dust over the tank. And you're going to do that to everything basically. So yeah. Like that. Now you can see this is the side with the dust compared to the top. The top is a lot brighter, and now this is kind of faded, making it look more weathered. But when you do the top, it's the same exact thing. Just get your surface wet, your paint, but instead of streaking, it's just gonna be a stippling, just letting it run naturally. You know, because there'd be foot traffic up here, people just dragging stuff, and then dirt that flies through the air when an explosion goes off and lands on the top. It's just a simple stippling. And then you just repeat it, lay dry brush, go back over and clean it up. And yeah. Now it's like night and day. See, the turret is undusted, and now the chassis is dusted. So yeah, and you're just going to do the exact same thing I did to the chassis to the turret. And then there you go. Now the whole tank is dusted. It's been through a lot of battles and they didn't have time to clean it, and now it's just abandoned on a field collecting even more dust. So now we're going to move on to the mud. And the first color we're going to use is this. And we're going to do all the mud work down here. The biggest buildup of mud is going to be near the idler wheel. Yeah, not the drive sprocket. There won't be, because right here, this is where the most of the mud will be kicked up. Since there's no side skirts, it'll be just spraying up here, and then it'll just really level out here. So we're going to start with this. Once after done adding the paint, take some dirt and sprinkle it all over. That'll give you a more realistic look, and then after that, then just repaint it. Like that. Like that. And this is what you should end up with at the end. Alright, now this is a lighter color. Now we're going to start adding the darker colors to show that some of the mud still has some moisture in there. Make sure to have it kick up a bit on the fronts, especially if you don't have any fenders, because mud would, but majority of it's going to be back there, just like that. But yeah, the next color we're going to hop into is damp earth. And we're mainly going to be focusing the damp earth near the recesses. So back there and near the bottom. There'll still be some moisture. And there you go. Now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to hop over to a powder, dark earth. And we're going to add the power really around the drive sprocket and, oh no, the idler wheel and the drive sprocket. one of the last things we're going to use is this, and we're just going to add this in random spots around the tank. So now we're going to add some splatters, and we're going to use the same paint that we just did. We're going to take a metal tool, get some on your brush, not a crazy amount, and just add some random splatters all over this. And just like that, you got some mud. And now what we're gonna do, we're gonna continue with the splattering, but we're gonna run through all the colors in reverse. And there we are. Now we got some mud sprayed on the tank. It was driving through a muddy field and then broke down and they abandoned it. But yeah. And we're gonna add a little bit of some dirt and debris on the top, and we're just gonna use this dirt and some glue. So I'm just gonna pile it up in little areas and then put dabs of glue to secure it down. And now we got some dirt on the top. All we gotta do is just blend it to the dirt we have at the bottom. So just painting it the same exact colors. Now it is time to move on to the road wheels, and I'm basically going to continue doing the exact same thing but to each wheel individually. So let's begin. And then there we go for all the weathering on the road wheels. So now the next thing we're gonna do is gonna hop over to the grease and oil spills near the engine deck. All right, let's add the grease and the paint we will use to make grease. Whoosh, look at this. Next thing I'm gonna do is this rusty exhaust pipe, and I'm going to use white and these. So let's start with that. Start with painting it white. Yeah, that's the next thing I'm gonna do is add black, like little speckling all around it. That's done, I'm going to use these two. I'm going to shave them into a dust and add water to it. And once it's dry, give it a wash with this. That's it for this video. Make sure to catch me next Wednesday when I hop over to the tracks. But until then, enjoy the montage.